So anyway, you just gotta help her calm it back down. You gotta bring it back in.
Yeah.
Let's do some
Listen,
sound checks.
I got love for everybody. Sound check. 1, 2, 1,
Headphones.
2.
Headphones. See what we sound like in the headphones.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yo.
Am I too loud? Because I know I'm loud. I'm like, that's super loud. I'm super loud. Oh, those are super loud. I could put my mouth and I'm louder.
Okay, they ain't sponsoring us.
Okay. Like chest 1, 2, 1. My check. Right, we ain't gonna.
We on everybody's brand.
We got sponsored by B Condoms.
No good one.
The first black-owned condom company.
You got sponsored by what?
B Condoms. They're the first black-owned condom company.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I just saw another one on Instagram.
B Condoms. That's what they do. Oh, I don't know who they're. Well, they're the first.
Hey, are we able to?
You should follow them on Instagram because they do a lot of things.
I was paying attention because she had said it was odorless.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was odorless, vegan, and pH friendly.
I'm about to see the packaging. It may be the same one.
They're in CVS.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
They're in Walmarts, but not here. They're in most of the Walmarts and Targets in the South, but they are in some of the CVS's here in Phoenix. You can go and put your
because they stay putting a black company on.
Man, so let's talk about their black history. So them compared to their black history, I mean, I think it was last year or the year before last, their black history compared to Bath and Body Works. Bath and Body Works just, all they did was took their same shit and just changed the names, the black names, and put some red, black, and green on it. Whereas Target actually found black-owned companies. They supported them. Then they even listed a whole page of, these are all the products we have that are black-owned. Like, they were really doing it for the culture. What are you doing for black people just because you rebranded your product for 30 days or 28 days? Excuse me.
You said Bed Bath
and Beyond. I ain't shopped it. Not Bed Bath and Beyond. Bath and Body Works.
Oh, well,
I have not shopped there since.
You can't watch the live.
I don't even want that shit.
That's crazy.
Tell if there's a live or no.
That is crazy. Well, shout out to whoever got hip to that and put them on blast. But that's FleekSauce. You could have just went out and supported a black-owned company and be like, hey, you can place your product here this month.
Right. They could have created products, new additional products and smells and kept them year-round. And then said they were giving them percentage. Hey, how you doing? Good. What's your name? Stephanie. Nice to meet you. I'm Nesha.
Hey, my name's Earl.
I was stuffing my mouth.
I was stuffing my mouth.
Nice to meet you. But yeah, shout out to Target because they stay putting a black company on.
They do, and they have so many black-owned products.
Yep.
They highlight it, and then every February, what they do is they have a contest with HBCU artists and have them design T-shirts.
Right.
And then they sell the T-shirt.
Yeah. It's just
you don't just I'm gonna take this candle which was called White Burn.
right.
And then I'm just going to put some red, black, and green on it and give it another name. And then 28 days later, switch it back to the original. What is that doing for our people? I was so frustrated with them on that.
Yeah. Ooh,
I'm like, y'all must not have no black people on y'all board.
and the sad part is that a lot of them do.
And a
lot of them do. They got that one, that one token that Got one token.
But they ain't from the hood.
And he did.
They don't know about the.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be good. They'll like that.
Earl, what is that like, dude? That one. That what it looked like a cloth. Did y'all do that for more light or something? Like, what does that do? You see, it look like a.
Yeah.
What is that?
Just up there for more light. I didn't put it up there. I really have no.
He's like, I really don't know.
Like, I really have no. What I really wanted to say, I was like, I really have no fucking idea.
Right.
It's just up there. Like, I mean, I know it was there too. I mean, I've seen it before. It's just.
Right.
I never gave a shit.
Okay. That's fair.
Pretty
that's
much.
fair. And that's life.
It looked like
I'm like a little kid. I'll be like, oh, what's that?
Yeah, I was kind of like that too at first, like maybe the first time I was in here, but it's like, I don't know.
I've been in here 100 million times. You been here 100
I would
times.
replace that light first. I would add a wholly different, like, that is probably the weakest link in the chain.
It looked like a cloth that you could fold up and take.
Yeah. It's like you want to radiate your scalp.
Mm.
I don't know what that shit is. Yeah, it's dope.
That's what it was. Sex, love, and interesting series.
You know what series I've been listening to?
Mm-hmm.
I finished it. It's called How I Fuck.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why I love that series.
Okay.
It's very journalistic. She's a journalist. I love sex podcasts. I love to learn anything about sex. That's like my thing.
Okay.
But it's called How I Fuck, and in each episode is like how I fuck with this or how I fuck with that. The very first episode was how I fuck with cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And so we've been trying very hard to find someone in the Black community that has a disability that can talk about their sex life or talk about sex. Because a lot of times when people look at disabled people, they don't see them as sexual beings.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a condition they have. That don't mean that they're not, they don't have, feelings and want to be loved and all that stuff, just like everybody else.
Right.
But it's really interesting how he just talked about how they don't even make sex toys really for him because, having cerebral palsy, he doesn't have the muscle strength to be able to jack off, basically. You know what I'm saying? So he needs toys that help and aid in that. And then he talks about how he used sex workers. And so that's why I think, we're going to talk about sex workers' work because there is a need out there. He chooses to use sex workers because he was telling about his first experience. I'm going to let y'all listen to it. They only be like 25 minutes, 20 minutes max. Mm-hmm. They had this one guy who was born intersex. And, a lot of people that were born intersex, their parents had to choose their sex for them. And he was like, so they chose him to be a girl because he had a micro penis. It was very small. So they chose him to be a girl. And and then what they try to do is when they're little, they be trying to do surgery on them very young. Yeah. But his mom said no. But what they did was they lied and told him that his gonads, they said that they were cancerous. So that's how they convinced the mom to get him at 14 to get the surgery. Then they wanted to make a vagina for him. And he was like, he didn't want to do it. And so his mom didn't let him. But now he lives as a man.
Damn.
He lives in them, but it's still, so now he fights for, he was a Black man. He fights for intersex people because usually like transgender and stuff like that, they can choose to have that surgery. For intersex kids, they force it on them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's a real big advocate, but I learned so much. She did this one about a Black woman, she has herpes and she swings. And she talks about how she'll wear a bracelet when she's at the swinger party so people will know. She tells them I have herpes but they invite her and then she tells how she lives with herpes and still has a very active sex life.
Damn.
She had so many different, she had a lady with dwarfism and talked about how
a straight up dwarf?
How she had sex as a dwarf.
Oh, that's dope.
And she talked about too how it's hard for her to reach her genitals. So she need a toy that's long enough so she can, you're learning like their whole, it's so intriguing. It is so intriguing. I'm listening to just about every episode. I think I'm waiting for the new season.
She said, I have already.
And Black and Kiki podcast wants to interview Kiki and I.
Okay.
So they just sent us the thing. We got to fill it out. And we're doing the week and after our one thing I can do is write. I can write some proposals and write some shit up.
Yeah.
Very good at that.
I'm trying to get better at that personally.
So we are going to be doing a presentation at the Sex by Southwest in Tucson and then the Southwest Love Fest in April. We're going to Tucson. It's called Sex by Southwest. It's a whole
Song Lab Live.
A whole day with workshops and stuff about sex. So Kiki and I are going to talk about not being afraid of toys and how you can incorporate toys in your life.
Yeah.
She's on the call. Sorry.
Because that's what the shells told me.
Where is Fleek?
You flipped it because I made up my mind. I was tired. It's not like my feelings have just dissipated and I don't care and I don't want to fuck with him no more, and like it's not like none of that. It's just the fact that there's just certain things that I feel like we keep circling.
Y'all
back
seen that new
on,
Velma on HBO Max?
I mean,
They got a new Scooby Doo, but it's called Velma. But I swear it is like Rick and Morty or Family Guy meet Scooby Doo.
I mean, he's still cool.
She was real always be serious, but they ain't want to let it be known.
Well, in this one, they still like making it. They making it like she ain't really, It's like how they come together, and then they don't have Shaggy. His name is Norval. But yeah, she got a brother, but she's brown because Mindy Kaling plays her, so that's why they got her brown skin, and her father is looks Indian because she's playing. I guess they making Velma Indian.
They said that was like the worst rated show in the history of
Scooby-Doo.
The Velma.
I watched the first episode and I laughed. My husband was like, ugh. He was like, that's some bullshit, right? I laughed. But it's like Rick and Morty or Family Guy. So if that sense of humor is kind of like, but it has some parts in there that I kind of chuckled on. So, but I just didn't expect Scooby-Doo to be like, I was like, and where's the dog? And what's going on?
What's up?
Are we live?
No. Oh, man.
It says Fleek is live now, but it's black.
It's blocked?
It says Fleek is live now.
Oh, man.
Oh, damn. Oh, world just heard my business.
Yeah, it's been recording. So it's been recording, but it wasn't live.
Oh.
No, it wasn't live. It wasn't live. It was just recorded. So we'll release just that segment right there. Just Phree's conversation. We'll mark that song lab. Phree's conversation.
God.
He's you over there like, you remember Atlanta, baby? You remember what we had?
I do remember the feather.
Hey, he's the one for your show.
Friday.
Tell her what kind of parties you like. Tell her what kind of parties you like. Keep 100.
He said keep it 100.
What's up? Tell your ideal good time.
What kind of party?
Understand it. That's that.
He said an understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, now you tell him what kind of parties you like.
Well, my husband and I just went to our first lifestyle party Saturday. It was nice. We didn't play. You don't always have to play, but the cool thing about having a partner is that you could get, every time you going home with somebody every night anyway, so you cool. But it was my first time, so I just wanted to kind of see, understand, feel the vibe or whatever. And it was hot though to see people playing and stuff. I was like, ooh, this one girl, she was like the star of the show. She was being ravished by everybody. And we was standing there looking like, oh, okay.
He looked like the barbecue sauce on it. He was sitting up there looking like a hot steak with the extra goddamn.
Some. And it's a black couple that runs it too, that runs the club, the membership club. And then you just go to the party, pay for the tickets for the party, and it was a theme. So we dressed up. It was a glow party, and I love to dress up.
These days, I know.
I just wanted to identify the freaks in the room. There's freaks in this room.
Hey, I can't even. Okay, so that will show you. I don't know. I was taking pictures, selfies right before I went to the event. I didn't even take a picture with Santee. This was me at the they had a stripper pole in this.
Is thirst trap a real thing?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, is that a real thing?
No.
Like when y'all put those pictures up, does like the DMs go up? Is that how?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, why else did you post the picture for?
I like
right?
getting stuff say delicious and all that stuff. Delicious, delightful. I didn't post that on my page. I have another page.
I actually call it reverse thirst because
That's the third.
yeah, because especially when it's like so
Are we live too?
overly sexually provoking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what did you think he was going to say when he saw this picture?
Oh, you saying when people get mad? Like, why did you? I'm like, well, what
Get
kind
your
of?
ass and titties is out. He said ass and titties. What did you think he was going? You know what I mean? I know how people respond to my pictures, and I don't even post like that.
Yeah, you're not
You know what I mean?
do the most.
You still showing live, but it's black.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Brown chicken, brown cow.
Classic porn music.
Yeah, brown chicken power. Anytime you have me, I know I'm a somehow find a way to turn the conversation to sex.
It's what keeps the world going, doesn't it? Keeps the world going. Sex.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
So, are there going to be like classes on like fellatio?
Yeah.
Or okay, that's awesome.
Fellatio, cunnilingus. There's a bed up there, so it's gonna be
I definitely.
sex position. I'm trying to say not intro to BDSM. But even if we don't, on the main stage we'll have Sir Marvelous, who's going to talk a little bit about intro to BDSM, and he's also going to take volunteers to come up there and be. Dang, I already had some people that was like, I volunteer as tribute.
Yo, those strap joints look fun.
I don't
The ones
like.
that go on the door?
Mm-hmm.
I know. But see,
Yeah.
the funny thing about me,
Wait,
like,
which ones that go on the door? What do you
It's like a swing. Looks like she's swinging.
Oh yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
but see, I wanted
Yeah, those.
I wanted to like work on my thighs.
Oh, yeah.
It's a, no,
Right.
you can
You
do
know
a
what I mean?
workout. You can do a workout with.
Because I seen her swinging, I was like, yeah, that's gonna work the thighs right there.
Are you talking about Kasha or she? I think she's on all natural. Is that the one y'all see on Instagram? And she
think
does
so.
she's big,
She
thick
thick.
girl. Yeah, she's she's our director of programming and training at Bedroom Candy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So she doing her thing.
That's what's up. Like,
And because she was one of the #1 consultants, they hired her, but then she also still does her own thing too.
Okay.
You know, and so she's in New York. So in New York, they be collabing like a mug.
yeah.
Because everybody's trying to get to this money.
Right, and they help each other and put them on. You know what I'm saying?
So we live right now.
We live.
Anything said from this point forward, you know what I mean?
You watch what I'm
Can
talking
be-
about.
We live on Facebook.
No,
too?
no.
Oh, no, we're not live on Facebook. We just recording, starting the show.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Yeah, so. Yo, y'all are two dope people. I like you guys individually, but now here I'm like overwhelmed with joy. I'm like two of my favorite fucking people here at the same time.
And what you want to talk about? You know what I like to talk about, but I can talk about other stuff too.
Yeah,
That's what's up, that's what's up.
yeah.
Shout out
What's the topic today?
The topic, we're gonna talk about Black liberation.
Yeah,
Liberation.
Have a conversation about, and really the conversation we're gonna have is about events and projects that we're working on.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna discuss.
All right.
What we're doing, what we aspire to achieve, and then put this out into the ether
Okay.
and inspire. Like, what would you say to like yourself from 10 years ago? That type of conversation.
Oh, you a badass bitch and you didn't know it. You ain't even know it.
Really? Mhm.
For real.
So it's like a confidence thing.
Yeah.
Like, tell you yourself.
You was
Believe in
sleeping on
yourself.
yourself.
Mhm.
That's what I would say. Girl, you was sleeping on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, imagine if you would have did this 10 years ago, where you'd be.
Yeah. You know, wake yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would encourage myself to find my journey to self-love.
Yes,
Um,
that's important.
Not to say like I didn't love myself, but it wasn't in practice. You know what I mean? Because when you have self-love, you have boundaries. And I didn't really have many boundaries when I was in my 20s. Like, you know, I was the ride or die chick for maybe the wrong one. But just to encourage that self-love. Like, you know, it's okay to love them, but love yourself more. You know what I mean? So
Well, it took me to my 40s. And so this is what I learned. So it got to a point like when my friends call me about their relationships and they'll be like, he did this. And then the first thing I say is that a deal breaker? And if they say, what do you mean by that? I'm like, meaning that if he never changes it, can you deal with it? Because nobody's going to be perfect that you're with. But you have to know, when you say self-love, you have to know what your deal breakers are.
Exactly.
And so he might not be for you. That don't mean he might end up or getting, because, you know, sometimes we're like, how he work with her? How did he end up with her? Because what he did wasn't a deal breaker for her.
Right.
Or it is, and she just, you know, ignoring it. But if you know what your deal breakers are, and you just be like, you know what, I can't live with this. Because I look at myself, it's hard for me to change habits of my own. Like, I'll be like, dang, I really want to change that. And then I get mad at myself because I haven't changed it yet. How am I going to expect you to, like, this pisses me off that you do this and you need to change it now?
Right.
How do you expect that person to change? They've been doing it for 40, 50 years. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself, because, I mean, we all annoy each other. Nobody's perfect. You with somebody, be like, oh, damn, I hate when they do that. But is it a deal breaker?
Yes.
And once you know those, because if you ignore those, all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable.
The inevitable. And I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to come off like, oh, he was this terrible person or whatever, whatever. No, he's still a good person. He's still the homie and all that. It's just the fact that I didn't find out my deal breakers till later.
Yeah.
Till after I was already in it. Till after I had already popped out 2 babies. You know what I mean? Like, hold on, this is a deal breaker, bro. Like,
yeah.
Isn't it where
how can you do it? Change you a little bit too, right? Makes you wiser. You in a different mindset.
Are the deal breakers personal, or can y'all share what your deal breakers are?
I could share mine. You want to go first?
I'm gonna listen to you.
Okay. I don't have many. My deal breaker is don't be yelling and arguing with me. I'm human. We can talk. If you're upset at that time, say I'm upset right now, so I don't really want to talk to you. But we're going to revisit it.
So communication gonna happen.
Yeah, right. Communicate, no screaming and yelling or putting your hands on me and stuff like that. No. Okay. And you gotta be what do I want to say? Like a teammate. Like, you gotta be like on the team. Because I've been in many relationships where I felt like I was the only one on the team.
Right.
You're doing all the
work.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know, pretty much anything else, we can talk through it and we might be able to get through it.
Yeah.
But you screaming and hollering at me. Oh, and lying. I'm sorry. Don't lie to me. Because once you lie to me, that is very difficult for me to come back and be like, well, you know, I believe you. I might be like, yeah, I'm still with you. But the whole time I'm like, yeah, nigga, you, I know you didn't did something. So you're prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah. That's real talk right there.
Yes. Yeah. What about you? You got a deal breaker?
Y'all are gonna be surprised. Maybe you won't. So my deal breaker is like honesty. It's not even like a deal breaker. It's like what is your reverence for me? Like, what is your appreciation of me? And then it's almost like pledge your soul to me is like my level of intensity that I have. And if I don't feel like I have that, then that's like the deal breaker. Because I feel like I could really work.
Upset. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to feel appreciated and loved? Are you with somebody and they don't ever show you how much they love you?
I mean, but there's people who lack the capability of affection, or they don't know how to be affectionate, or
that could be a problem.
So that can fall into being a deal breaker because they don't know how to show appreciation.
I'm super affectionate. Every day I ask my husband, I'll be like, am I being too much? Am I doing too much? He be like, no. But his reaction sometimes be like, You know, but I'm like, I gotta touch him all the time. We in the bed. We got a king bed, so we literally don't touch.
Yeah.
Until we want to touch, and it's a split. So if you could fall in the middle, right? But I have to, like, when I get up in the morning, I roll over, I gotta touch him, hug him, and I'll be like, I wonder if he feel that. He told me sometimes, but that's how I am. Like, I want to kiss and hug. I'm super affectionate.
There's my deal breaker is you can't be a bum ass parent. If I know you have kids, then we are discussing your involvement with them or your lack of involvement, because I am understanding that some baby mamas,
it's true,
will parental alienation is a form of abuse to me, and so I can be understanding to certain extents.
I still be like, there's things you could do.
To certain extents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I know that you just sitting around not doing nothing, that you're not trying to be in their life, that you're not fighting for them, like, you know what I mean? Like,
tripping.
that's a problem for me. That's a problem.
It can go, like, I think we're in an interesting space between men and women right now, where both sides are saying these truths, and they don't want to accept them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want to hear it. So you got dudes that sound like they're dissing women online, and they kind of are, because women are accepting it. No one ever got dissed into improvement, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you say, hey, you can only get this type of brother. You only evaluate to this. And you say that, like, not in a, what's it called, therapeutic type of way.
Yeah.
When you say, that doesn't help anyone.
Yeah.
But the women are also doing the same thing back to men. Like no scrubs type of shit. Like, this is where y'all are on too. But the communication is like just not hitting.
Look, I'll talk to women about these numbers, and the reality is most Black men in America are not making six figures.
Right.
That is the reality.
And most Black women are making more money than Black men.
You know what I mean? So you have to, like, come to reach certain realities of that, you can still have a happy life with a man making 40 or 50K a year. You can still have a happy life. You know what I mean? Like, will he just be able to take you on vacations on the whim like that? If that's not, but we can plan for 1 in 3 months though.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
But I will tell you this: you got your income right now, and you let go this other dude. That's still, if you making 80 or 90,000 and he bring his 40 or 50, that's 130, 140,000.
Yeah.
You ain't think about that. Y'all can work. You been living on your own anyway. You could probably live off of one income and save and invest the other. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got a second. That's like having like you just brought a second job into your home.
See, that requires,
think like that.
That requires a person who wants to put in the work with you though.
Right.
And we've gotten to this level with women who feel like, you know what? I ain't gotta do that. I ain't gotta do that. And it's okay. It's becoming very detrimental to our culture if we don't come to a compromise, because Black love is dying. Okay? Like, it's dying out. Like, look at this last generation of kids born, and I'm not against
interracial.
Y'all do y'all thing, but I'm my culture first right now, so I'm talking about my culture, my people. A lot of these children are mixed.
And they're being raised by single white mothers. And that's another thing too.
That's the other.
On my mind.
Huh?
So
well, I'm just saying, if you think about it, a lot of mixed kids that I met, they live with their white mom.
Yes.
No, that makes sense. Like, you know let's kind of blow
my mind. All these years, they being raised by a white mom and a white culture, and they don't really understand theirs.
There's a disconnect.
You know what I'm saying? And so
it's Black man, I need you to take charge of your seed and be more aware and more deliberate in where you plant it. You know what I mean? Because a Black seed is going to be more prosperous in Black soil. This is science. This is just the way things work. Again, y'all do y'all, but I'm culture first. I'm about my people first. A Black seed will thrive better in Black soil.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
I'm just saying, I love y'all. I think
I think it's hard. It's a subject that's, for me, it's hard to talk about because you're talking about the annihilation of your people, the attack on your people, the blatant disrespect of your people, and you want to be like, stop this shit, and you want to do something about it. But then in order to do that, you have to change the narrative and the mentality of your people. And like, to me, I used to think like, like kind of like how Martin Luther King did. Like, what if we just get everybody on board?
Yeah.
Like, we really should have got ourselves on board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we should have just Wakanda that bitch up. And then, but
Hold
you know,
on. Which Wakanda? The first one or the second one?
You don't like the second one.
I was not a fan of the second one, but move forward.
You're not a fan? Wait, we gonna table topic that one because I want to hear what's going on with that. But essentially, it's a cycle. You know, we go into these spurts of doing really well, and then something sets us back, and then we do well, something sets us back. But generally, we have been improving like over time. Like we have been, you know what I mean? Like we have been getting better. It's just that it's fucking hard to do that with the design of the system. And when you point a mirror back at the system, it tries to change, you know, what you're showing them.
Yeah. I did want to get to my second deal breaker, and we're going to get to my sis' favorite topic.
Yes.
I got to have head. I was in 2 relationships where my partner did not give me head.
What?
And that's, it's a deal breaker.
Like ever?
Ever.
Oh.
Ever.
Where's the sound?
It was very.
Let it does.
It was very sad.
Oh.
Did they say why? Because I know someone who doesn't because of trauma.
The first one, it was trauma. He had a very terrible experience in his college years, and he went down on some chick, and he ended up with some type of infection in his throat. And
gotcha.
Okay,
so let's introduce Dental Dam with flavors.
So we gonna figure that out.
So it started out with me trying not to put pressure on him about it or make it a thing. But then, you know, the days turn into weeks, which turns into months. Wait a minute, hold on. It's been a year since I've gotten head. This is not the life that I live. You know what I mean? This is not the life that, no. So it was just like we got to the point of like, look, either we work this out or I'm going to have a head guy.
Yeah. Well,
you're my head guy.
Shout out. Shout out to that.
Well, if you're going to be like Oprah, I have people.
That is up.
For real. And then like after, you know, and that was not the reason why we broke up, but it was definitely a factor. The next guy that I ended up talking to, it kind of turned out to be the same thing. Like, and it was like, bro, I'm already coming off a year of no head.
2 in a row?
And so
rub me my head.
after a few months or so, and we've already had our encounters, and I understand like some people are sensitive to doing that right away. I get it.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't either. So again, I was starting out with the understanding of like maybe he just needs time to be comfortable. And then after we hit the 6-month mark, I'm like, yo,
because you had already reciprocated.
Like you know what I mean? Like,
and you didn't get the love back.
No problem with trying to make me.
Put your head there.
You have no problems with getting yours, but when it's on me, then it's like it's a problem.
Are these brothers like what age? Like, because some older brothers,
they're both in their 40s.
You should know. You should be.
They're both in their 40s.
By then, you should have an appreciation.
Yeah, but you know what? So
fine coochie.
Yeah, it was so funny when I was growing up. I was during so okay, I'm gonna tell you, I was watching old Def Comedy Jam.
Okay.
And that came out in the 90s, right?
Yes.
And every comedian kept saying, man, you gotta eat that pussy, man, y'all. Or you gotta suck that dick. And I was sitting there like, why they keep saying that? And I was like, back in the day, they used to lie.
It was a stigma.
And they be like, I don't do that, man. They be in the dark tearing that coochie up, right?
Look,
and But in you know, in front of a boy, like, I don't do that. I didn't have many dudes say to me they don't do that, and then I'd be like, you don't do that. Oh, that's gonna be a problem. That's the first thing they do when we hooked up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't want to say that in front of your boys. But it never clicked for me until I started watching that. I was like, why? Every comedian was like, y'all gotta suck that dick, man. You gotta eat that. I'm like, why are they encouraging that? Like people wasn't doing it, but I forgot.
It was like taboo still.
Yeah. And now, so back in the day, anal was like, oh, gross. Nah, that's the thing. That's the conversation.
Beyond birthdays.
Yeah, everybody.
You don't gotta be a birthday.
I only get it on my birthday. Now it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Tuesdays.
That's right. That's Tushy Tuesday.
Tushy Tuesdays. You feel me?
Oh my God! But even like our generation in the beginning, they were very resistant too. Like I remember all my homeboys when we was like 18, 19, 20, and I don't do that. And look at you now.
Right.
And look at you.
That's how I was at first. I was like,
the man wasn't talking about it.
Well, you was like that at first?
Yeah, at first I was like, I don't know, because I had seen live birth happen and stuff like that. I was like, it goes down up out of that thing. I don't know what's popping up out of
healed up and cleaned up. The vagina is very, vulva is very resilient.
Yeah. So I have a new appreciation.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew into an appreciation.
Yeah.
I really grew into appreciation by appreciating a woman's body.
Okay.
That's when I was like, started to kind of drool when I thought about
what that body can do.
Yeah, when I thought about that, I was like, okay.
You can feed the baby that you gave birth to. You can do all this stuff, all just from your body. That's wonderful.
Yeah. But initially, I was not fond of it. It was not a fun thing. You know what it was? One of my first sexual experiences, I was like 18, 19. I went on a date. We went back to my apartment, and she was pushing my head down. She's like forcing her head down.
Oh, yeah,
and I was like,
what is you doing?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I already had sex by then.
But you hadn't done that.
Yeah, and I was like, yo. And then when I did take a whiff, it wasn't ready for, like.
He said it wasn't ready.
Like, you had a long day. This is beyond.
Oh my God, but you didn't.
Yeah, if you want somebody to go down there,
Now that way y'all was having sex though?
We didn't have sex. So this is us, like, you know, it's also so crazy when you're young and you play that little game of you don't know if you have sex or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, when you're an adult now, like, you know, but back then, we just kind of vibing like that.
But let's go get something to eat first.
The vibe ended up with her pushing my fucking head down.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, nah, this ain't what it is.
Right, this ain't that. This ain't that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have maybe tried it then, but it didn't have a good smell out of it. And so I was like, but that was my first experience, and I had to like
I remember the
get over it.
First time a guy tried to get me to go down on him. And, you know, we're young. This is, you know, fairly new. And he had me blindfolded. And we were like, you know, just exploring. Exploring. Oh, okay. I like that. I like this. I like that. All right. He blindfolded me. He's like, just sit here. Okay. Sitting, I'm waiting. And then like I just start feeling some like on my mouth slaps. It wasn't a slap. So roll. But then I'm feeling something sticky too at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is this? Take off the blindfold. And he has his penis covered in honey. And trying to get me, I was like, bro, no, wait, hold on. You just don't spring that on nobody. Like, you just don't.
And you was blindfolded?
I was blindfolded.
Oh, that was so wrong.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Non-consensual like a mug.
Yeah.
He could have had a biting reaction.
He could have.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have tried on you, right?
He wasn't thinking that through. He was just like, I'm gonna just try to make it all sweet. I'm gonna make it sweet so she gonna like it.
I'm trying to think I think with my boyfriend in college. So I did not have sex until I graduated high school. Mind you, it was 2 days after. But my mom asked me to not have sex. She said, just wait till you finish high school because you got so many other things to worry about, college, all this stuff. And I listened to her. I really did. I didn't plan to do it 2 days later, but I got begged 4 hours into having the sex, right? Damn. So, but that didn't work out with him. Then I went to college. I met this guy. He really liked me. He kept knocking on my door and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, he a nerd. I was like, I don't talk to that nerd, right? And everyone's like, he like you. Anyway, I had a bad experience with the one that begged me for 4.5 hours, and it was a bad experience. I don't even want to talk about that. Anyway, what's another story? But when I met him, it was November because I was just coming back, and I said, well, I'll be your girlfriend, but I ain't having sex because sex is horrible, and it's such and such and such. Because I used to equate sex with love, so when we had sex, I thought we was in love and we was gonna be together forever. No,
as most young ladies.
But my boyfriend, he waited for me like months. I told him we weren't having sex. He would come we go to the cafeteria together. He'd come spend time with me, come see me. We play cards, all of that.
Aww.
And then one February, it was February, so like 4 months later, my roommate went to church. We were sitting there and I was like, you want to do it? Oh no, he was like, yeah. But he was my first he was my first a lot of stuff because we used to be like, let's fulfill each other's fantasies. So I believe he's the first person that I gave head to.
Okay.
I was about to be 19. I was 18. But we did everything. Like I even tried to try anal with him, but we didn't know we was doing it. I didn't know what lube was. I didn't know all of that.
Yeah.
That was paid. I was like, no, I can't do it. What happened literally is I felt like I had to shit. Like when he said, I was like, oh wait, pull it out. I think I gotta go to the bathroom. And then he pulled it out, and then I was like, oh, I ain't gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, come on, right? And then he did it again. I was like, oh wait, I think I gotta go again. And then I told him, I said, now I'm equating anal sex with shit. Like I gotta shit.
Oh my God.
So I just completely. It was a turnoff for me for years. I was like, yeah, nah, dog, that don't work for me. Nah, but so he was my first everything. Mm-hmm. Now the first time I had it given to me was the second guy I was with. So I lost my virginity, and then like a month later, I meet this guy, and he was older than me. He was trying to talk to me, and I was like, okay, but I'm thinking, I'm looking for a relationship, right? I'm thinking that's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
No. So.
Wait, is this the second time you're telling us?
No, this is the first time it's been done to me.
Oh, okay.
So I was 17. I was 17, about to be 18.